pretty restless night. I would label it like this. The thing is, I always use a little bit of trick that it's all good. I'm 47, lived a pretty colorful life, been homeless a couple of times. See, the thing is, last night, I sleep overall 5 or 6 hours. Go to bed 11:30, wake up 5:15 every single day. But the thing is, normally I would stress out. So when I was young and I had to go to school, bullshit, then you get very restless because you cannot sleep. You look like shit, and you cannot perform properly. And by the way, when we had to go to school every day, we had to bicycle 10 kilometers to school and 10 kilometers back, actually 11 point something. But now at 47, I don't have to be anywhere, live a life of freedom, do everything from the phone. By the way, I'm optimizing the website so within 7 days people can download the work structures for free, so you can actually do it. All structures can be executed by a 12-year-old. And the thing is, because I walked both sides until I was 30, I had offline businesses, tons of offline projects, failed a lot, succeeded a smaller amount of percentage, and now, when I was 30, I lost everything, came to Bulgaria to survive, went away again for 5 years to Malta. Anyway, now I'm back for 3 years. The thing is, when it's about the sleeping part, I always keep this in mind. It could be way worse, because when you sit on the street, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the feeling, when you sit on the street and people go home and you sit on the bench, probably I had one suitcase with me, and the thing is, then it strikes, reality strikes, especially when there's no people on the street, or this is even also possible, that people pop up after 2 o'clock, or people coming out of bars and that kind of stuff. So you always need to be alert, and that kind of state of mind is something that I wish upon nobody, but I always keep it in mind. When I cannot sleep, I'm using this as everything is great, no matter if I cannot sleep very well. It could be way worse. And then I've really focused on the moment, and I'm just saying this for people who maybe also have problems with sleeping. I don't label things as a problem. It's simply because I'm excited for the next day. So it's more or less, I'm constantly burning on excitement. It's true. I'm not exaggerating over here. I'm 47, and I lived a colorful life. And the thing is, I'm doing everything from the phone, and every day more projects, more conversations, new conversations, a very exciting new possible project. Of course, I'm using my filters to get rid of the people who are the money chasers and people who are, only in it for the money. And not only this, also people who are willing to go outside the normality. Traditional thinkers are in general people who keep themselves poor. And if I work with the traditional thinkers, then I run around on the handbrake, and that's so one thing I refuse to do. And by the way, my case studies, of course, the majority of real life projects that I'm running cannot be exposed yet, but there will be 3 available on my website that you can study and actually do the same. Like I said, can be executed by a 12-year-old. The only requirement is simply that you have an open mind and that you like people. That's the only thing. If you don't like to talk with people, and without coming up with this bullshit, that you're an introvert, that kind of stuff, I'm just saying you're unexperienced and you don't know what to do. See, the thing is, I'm giving away everything for free. So you could claim your freedom. I also believe, that people deserve freedom. A lot of people want freedom, a lot of people want money, but you know what? Most people, they would listen to the people around them with pretty much traditional thinking. We all know this, especially people who are a little bit in the growth focused thing. There are so many traditional business models that are, really encouraged by the people around them. I know because I talk also over here in Bulgaria with a lot of business owners. I also give them a lot of free ads and free advertisements, because the biggest one I talked about, this one has around 100,000 extra views on their business profile per year. So I'm giving those away for free, and in general we just have a little fun about it and drink a beer upon it. But that's a whole different story. The thing is, I'm going to give everything away for free. Within 7 days, the first 3 real life ongoing case studies are available in multiple countries. So that is, I think, very fun to see. Also, you know, I talk about those strategy sellers for $27, $7 bullshit. I only share things that I'm doing currently. They're not exploited strategies and then I need to drain out a couple of euros and then, you know, tell the world how rich I am from your $27, because that's in general how it works. Every multimillionaire who actually sells $27 courses or $47, it's something that I, you know, that's why I give everything away for free. And that's another thing, they give away strategies, I give away the work structures, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, and then of course an ongoing thing. And along the way you have to grow a pair between your legs and just keep on learning. You know, I'm always filtering out people who want to do something, not set up one thing. For example, you get a loan from the bank, you buy a retail store, or you rent some place where you have a little bit foot traffic, and then you're back on your knees every single day that you get a couple of customers. That is all fun, traditional thinking, not necessary. And then complain about that the business is not working, and then you fall back into complaining about the government, you know, simply because people would say, yeah, that's great, yeah, you start a business. It's not a business. You buy yourself a slavery model. And you know, I've been there, done that, so I can speak about it. You know, when I was young, 20 years ago, still I'm young, 47, but okay, 20 years ago, retail stores, and the thing is, that is all fun, but there is always a cap, a possibility of earnings that's capped. And all the strategies and work structures that I'm giving away are uncapped, evergreen, and applicable in multiple industries, proven also, and the case studies will show you also the diversity of the possibilities, and it is possible for women and men. I'm actually starting to work with one woman. I'm not going to mention the country now. I think she is 23, open mind. It's also already a start now, a little bit training her how to speak freely, let's say, when it's on video. So anyway, what else? Oh yeah, I started with the sleeping thing. That's me. If you watch my vlogs, they're all real and unedited, uncut. And now that I'm doing pretty much daily a live stream, just to put some thoughts in people's heads, to, you know, to consider your life, maybe change a little bit direction. Like I always say, I'm never preaching or forcing anybody upon doing something, but if you want to live a life of freedom somehow, like I do, I don't have to be here. I'm in Sofia, Bulgaria. I can be walking around in the Bahamas on the beach, or, you know, and I'm also involved in the sales tickets in Malta. The season starts again, and the thing is, I could be sitting on the boat back and forward between the islands and drink cocktails and say, this is how you make this and this. This is the life that you want to lead. No, you don't. You get fed up with this. Trust me, whatever people use to attract you, Lamborghinis or whatever, you get fed up with the bullshit. The thing is, you want to live a fulfilled life. That means when you look in the mirror at the end of the day, that you say, I did everything I could. And if I go off the planet now, at least I did my best. And if you cannot say this, you have to do more. And the thing is, I am the guy who says this because, you know, I'm obsessed. I eat like a Spartan, I train like a Spartan, and I obsessively create work structures. When it's about work structures, the majority is automated by using make.com. I'm giving away all the scenarios, but I'm filtering them at the moment. At the moment I got 112 scenarios running, which are video distribution, content creation, not with the dumbass chat GPT thing, real stuff. So because you can see it. If you watch the past 200 vlogs or hundreds, yeah, a few thousand shorts, you will see I never speak about sitting on an office wearing a suit and lick ass. I don't dress myself up. So and also you don't see me with fabricated turkey teeth and put a needle in my ass. Everything is real, and everything is built on a resilient mindset. So you're ready to grow non-stop. Because if you start a retail business, highly recommended probably by the people that never left the country and or operated outside the country, and I always say, don't do it unless you open first a little bit of conversation with me. I could give you directions that you could burn down the place after 1 year. One very nice example, in the Airbnb area that I stay, there's one restaurant, beautiful location, totally now doesn't work anymore. Simply they missed out on so many lead collection possibilities. And a lot of people who start doing a little bit of lead collection, it's also about nurturing the leads. And a lot of people that I actually did help a few years ago, I used to tell people, I used to spend a lot of time offline with people at no cost. Many times I don't charge anything. I just filter the people who are willing to do something, because in the past I didn't have such boundaries. And the few people who actually start doing lead collection, they use the leads as some kind of brochure. They're dropping the brochure like an offline mail service. A lot of people, have still this traditional thing. Lead collection, yes, okay, but don't use those leads as to drop your great offers. Who gives a rat's ass? The thing is value. What's in it for them, not for you, not to spread your dumbass offers, and not to look down on you, not to look down on anybody. But I've been there, done that, and I'm doing this for a living obsessively. I'm 47. I started making sales when I was 11, knocking on the door, cleaning people their bicycles. And then very quickly I upgraded to cars. And when I was 14, I sold clothes on schools. School was one big business opportunity. But anyway, besides that, we're not going to get into this. I talked about that I cannot sleep. And this is the trick that I'm using, that everything is good. The pillows feel soft. The mattress feels soft. Some people might judge me because that I only live in hotels and Airbnbs, and because I live a life of freedom. If you would see my real life belongings, couple of suitcases, and that's it. The thing is, I can go wherever I want. But I'm not bragging over here. I'm just telling you, I'm 47. I'm doing everything from the phone. So it is possible. And when I was 30, 17 years ago, I arrived here in Bulgaria to survive. I lost everything. Can you say my name? It's your dream. Well, that's a hell of a dream, by the way. Genesis Flair _ double no YT. Oh, okay. Did I fulfill your dream? So anyway, over there's the Rakovski Stadium. So we're gonna put in the work again. The daily calisthenics regime. Yesterday also a calisthenics regime. You can see it in the shorts and whatever, maybe on my Instagram. Just reach out to me on Instagram if you consider to do something with your life outside the normality, that you give your boss the motherfucking middle finger. I had a few jobs in my life, very short term, and one a little bit longer than short term. It was delivering packages, and then I could use my own car. I got paid per kilometer and per package. At that time it was pretty good. So anyway, I was never a very big finger. Oh, you subscribed. Thank you very much. Genesis Flair _ YT. Why the name actually like this? Genesis Flair. I always try to think what is going on between people their ears. Why do you come up with these names? Genesis Flair. Tell me, well, how do you come up with this kind of stuff? Just interested. Oh, gaming name. Like what kind of games? You do, how do you say this? This streaming stuff on Twitch? When it's about gaming, I had a period in my life, I also did gaming, but I always want to do it quick. I did then Call of Duty, and then Black Ops 3, and then the always the free for all. I never liked to do the story stuff. It's always dragging me around, like, you know, then you walk against the wall and tick tick tick, maybe almost freakishly nuts. But free for all, I always used 10 minutes blocks just to you know, get a little bit my mind empty. But I got rid of the thing because I thought this is useless unless you do you know, unless you do the Twitch streaming. If I would ever go back into gaming, I would go all the way on Twitch. Just 8 hours, 10 hours, just gaming. If I would get, you know, into the gaming thing, non-stop, 8 hours, just bang, bang, bang. But now, just to do it on the side, you know, I also was never into those story things. There is not one single game that I did and then I finished it. Always just quick ones, just free for all, and just get rid of it, get over it. And then I also felt very guilty. GTA 5. I saw it once on the PlayStation 2, this GTA thing. Probably that is now totally freakishly nuts. RDR. What's that? ETC. See, I don't know those things, but yeah, if I would go back into gaming, I think I would do the Call of Duty thing again. I don't know, I'm not up to date about anything when it's about gaming, but yeah, maybe when I, you know, after 20 years, when I'm, maybe after 23 years, when I'm 70 years, then I go all in. Then I go all in, just non-stop gaming. Maybe. And then on a big, I also did it on a big beamer. What else did I do? Oh yeah, Soul Blade on the Nintendo Cube. Totally addicted to that one. Just everything had to be very quick games to get rid of it. Just clean my head, bam. GameCube was also freakishly insane. Anyway, Red Dead Redemption. That is also some kind of thing that you have to roam around, right? I'm not into the story thing because I don't have the patience for it. I also did once Evil Dead or something. Opening boxes and then doors are locked. Nah, that is totally not for me, that kind of stuff. But yeah, again, maybe when I'm a little bit calmer, I'm now 47, you know, after 20 years that I calmed down a little bit, and I would say, no, I can play a game for 8 hours, but then I also would go on Twitch. My PlayStation name is actually Devilissimo, and it's still mine. That is actually, I have one Black Ops video. OF? What is OF? OnlyFans? Okay, yeah, I have a lot of contacts there on OnlyFans. Okay, yeah, Genesis Flare. Ciao for now. So what I am gonna do, I am going to buy. No, I'm not gonna drink more coffee. I'm getting a little bit, I don't know, itchy. How do you say this? That I don't feel comfortable anymore. I did drink a lot of coffee, but one thing that I don't do when I wake up, always first at least half a liter of water, a pinch of salt, then I squeeze a lemon with water, again a half a liter. I got a half a liter glass, my beer glass, and then swallow it, then boatloads of coffee, more water, and then I'm going. Oh no, I also ate 3 eggs just to prepare, just to get myself a little bit fuel, you know, because now the weather is getting better again. You know, Mother Nature is really swinging around with her springtail. I think spring is on the way. See, I'm also not really up to date about seasons, you know. I'm not also up to date about days, months, Everything is very 18 hours windows every single day. Bam, bam, bam. I don't, think about weekends and that kind of stuff. Although I do have my Sunday slaughter day, that is a 10 or 15 kilometer run and 4 or 5 calisthenics spots. But yeah, anyway, so today, no running, but a calisthenics session in the Rakovski Stadium. So the Rakovski Stadium, that's where we go in Sofia, Bulgaria. If you're in Sofia, Bulgaria, maybe it would be nice to organize once. Oh, there is also a new calisthenics spot. You can see it in one of the in my shorts list. There's a new calisthenics spot. I think that's going to be the most beautiful one and optimized one that I ever saw or found over here in Sofia, Bulgaria. I mapped them all out in my Google Maps profile. So anyway, I'm actually already getting nervous again, because the closer I always get to the calisthenics spot, the faster my blood starts to pump. Also always get nervous the amount of pain that I'm gonna bring upon myself every single day. When it's also about recovery, I always give myself, let's say, 24 hours. So my session is general between 11 and 2 o'clock daytime, slaughter time, because then I need to reset mentally, because I'm dealing every single day with multiple projects, multiple people, and non-stop. And I also remember everything. It's not that I go willy-nilly between the people. We're dealing with people, their incomes, and we have to grow people, their businesses. And not only this, along the way, you have to keep people, let's say, somehow on track with you. And I always need to adapt to people, their speed, and also the speed that they learn. A lot of people also need to learn how to learn. And that's also what I teach them, because a lot of people, they don't have a clue how to implement actually something, right? And this is no disrespect, this is what I do for a living. So in case people wonder, what are you actually doing for a living? Well, I optimize people, their business flows, not only business, also physical stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this live stream after I enter the calisthenics stadium. It's actually a football stadium, but we're almost there. I'm actually thinking, do I need to buy something? No. I'm actually really nervous. I don't know why. Happens. There is, when I'm in a period like this, maybe also yesterday I caught a little bit sun. When I'm a sun, it's like me on kerosene. But I feel surprisingly good if I consider the amount of sleep that I did, but also, being at peace with it. I couldn't sleep. I think, it could be worse. I could be laying down on the street or laying down on the bench. People are fading away, and then it's all very shitty. But the thing is, I always told myself it's only periodical. And the thing is, it happened a few times, but it happens if you live a life like me. And when I was younger, totally bananas, going all in with projects and people, at one point it starts to bite you in the ass if you don't set up your boundaries. And now at 47, almost 48, yikes. Then when I also think about it, 48. But anyway, 48 is 48. I'm very blessed that I'm still alive. A lot of people wouldn't even make it. And by the way, I'm always very, grateful for the fact that I can breathe and walk around. That's 100%. I thought about this, because one person asked me 2 days ago, are you happy? I said, I am grateful. I live a life of gratitude, which I'm doing. I'm constantly in a state of gratitude. I'm thankful for everything. Also when it's about food on my plate. Like I said, also when I couldn't sleep this last night, I really think I could be laying down on a bench somewhere outside, that all the people go inside. And loneliness and peace go hand in hand when you don't have anything. But also, this is another factor what a lot of people You know, some people make up that they're homeless, but I'm going to tell you about this. They're missing out a couple of things, because I can tell you exactly, because this is one thing. When you don't eat for several days, then your mind starts to fucking around with you. And that is something that I was very aware of. I'm just sharing, and I solved this. And I'm gonna tell you this. When I got extremely hungry, I always trained. I always kept on training. But the thing is also, when I get very hungry, and you have a very minimal amount of money, then beer is the answer. And it's not to talk like an alcoholic, you know, when you would be on the street, that beer is the solution. No, it's the solution to get rid of your hunger. And still, that is embedded in my mind. Every time when I'm very hungry, I do think about beer. And it's not because I'm an alcoholic. If you would see my day regime, then you would say, yeah, this guy is totally out of his mind. And this is not to brag, but it's still connected with my impulses in my brain. You know, when I'm extremely hungry, then I think about beer. And it would solve the problem that it's not screaming in your stomach anymore. And it also soothes the brain. It gives you some sort of comfort, you know. And in combination with, the nights are extremely long. Hey, but there's a couple things about this. You know, you wish actually in the beginning, the first time that you spend time on the street, you know, you think, okay, I wish it's gonna be very quickly light again. And at one point, you know, also when, you know, the globe starts to warm up again. But, you know, all those factors, people who make up stuff, they're missing out detail. The thing is, you know, at one point I knew where to get water, I knew how to wash myself. So a lot of people who were very close to me, they never knew that I was living on the street. So I'm not bragging over here. I'm just sharing, and all the stuff that I'm saying, the way I'm saying it is. I love to speak reality on my videos. I'm also not cutting things out or leaving things in like this and that so I look like a fucking angel. No, I'm just an idiot who optimizes people their lives, and I face reality and embrace reality in a way that my colorful life just brought me to this point. But that's also one of the reasons I speak like this. So when it's also, you know, about those motivational speakers, there's one guy, he has some kind of advertisement, and it starts with the word fear. You know, fear. Everybody has fear, and then everybody needs love. No, you don't need love and you don't need fear. You need just a structured way of living. You need discipline. That's what I say. You don't focus on love, that you need love. You know, let's see, I'm adopted, so I never had my real parents, my adoption parents, they died a long time ago. The thing is, people who have, let's say, their real parents, when they look in the mirror, you know, you can see the features in your face, you know where you're coming from. See, people like me, we never belong to any kind of race and or traditions, and I'm very good with this, you know, because that's why I can serve the planet the way I do. And before I go off the planet, I will make a lot of people a lot of money. And not only this, also perhaps that they would serve the people around them better. That is my purpose, and nothing else matters actually to me. So, and it is not to talk that I'm all angel and all that kind of stuff. No, this is simply because I don't like to see other people suffer from slavery. And on top of that, you know, everybody has a mobile phone, and I'm using the mobile phone to do everything. So that's another thing. So when I see people, for example, in a subway, you know, the life is out of their freaking eyes, like a tiger in a cage. And in the meantime, because they have to go to the job every day for the next 20 or 30 years, you know, life is over. The thing is, then they have the phone. Then I always think you get the key to your own freedom in your hands, but you simply don't know. It's simply a lack of structure. It's not a lack of love or fear or that kind of normal people bullshit. I always say you lack structure, and you need to, you know, build some sort of disciplined structure into your life. And I give away those structures. You need structures, and I say it again, structures. You don't need love. You don't need fear and all people who cry around you. You go to gatherings, you know, and then everybody cries their hard out. I think, and it's the same, I mentioned this situation before, you know, when people go to those dating events, don't swim in pools where people have the same skill or lack the same skill. People who go to dating events lack one thing: they don't know how to get dates. Well, trust me, I know how to do it, and I give people also the structure. Massively. And I'm not bragging over here. I'm not some kind of Brad Pitt or something, but every day multiple apps are full. And I'm not bragging. Again, I'm simply doing a couple of things. And one of those things is not to say what you want. Just put in the work. I put in the work up front. So what does this mean? Now, for example, when I walk next to a, let's say, great woman with a great energy, you know, and I also love, you know, that they really humbled down by history, but also embraced their adversities, you know, not those people who swindle around in the past, like boo hoo, I feel so sad for myself. And there's another thing: women are in general way much stronger. If I really think about now my my contacts that I'm actually conducting business with, 70% is women. Simply because I don't want to listen to people that bullshit. A lot of men, and you know, they say, you know, wisdom comes with the ages. Well, I'm 47. I speak with people. The oldest one is 84, and the youngest one is around 15. The thing is, men, a lot of people, men between 40 or 35 and 45, still, you know, swindle and dwindle in the past. And there's another reason that I'm over here, that I'm in Bulgaria. The thing is, over here people don't have so much so-called mental diseases. I lived for 30 years in Holland. I lived for 5 years in Malta. Well, in Malta you got a lot of people from the UK. With all the respect, drink with a guy from the UK, 8 out of 10 is gonna be about mental diseases. And this is no disrespect, it is true. And the thing is, everything that I'm saying is from my own experience. I lived in multiple countries. You know, I'm not visiting countries and then say, oh, you know, for 1 week or 2 weeks, and then I say, oh, this and this is like this. No, trust me, when I'm somewhere in a country, I operate over there. I'm not anywhere for no reason. So, but anyway, let's walk into the stadium. That was the whole freaking plan. Do I need to buy water? No, I don't think so. That's why I actually walked to this mini mart. Let's close this live stream, because otherwise it gets too long. Ciao for now. Ow.